So a lot of you guys might be looking at this video right now and thinking, man, they really feasted. They had corn, they had those things on the aluminum foil that you're gonna see are potatoes. So we had like some baked potatoes, but I didn't record that because I was hungry and I ate it. So we had some corn. We put mayonnaise on it, Cholula sauce or Valentina sauce. We had that, some bratwurst. We had some boudin. Let's see, we had that chicken that I pretty much cooked at indirect heat. So I left that on the side where I didn't have any coals at, and I just cooked that all the way through, covering it up. You're gonna see at the beginning we had the aluminum foil where we had the salsa. So we had tomatoes, the jalapenos, clove of garlic, some onion, and you just let that all get real soft and mushy, and then you blend it with like a hand blender or whatever. Oh, we had the ribeyes. We had the star of the night. We had some ribeyes, USDA choice, and oh no, it was like a medium because they weren't as thick as I like, but that's why it kind of went to medium. But they were still real good and soft, nice and juicy. Let's get started. I'll show you the process of how I started, what I kind of did, and go from there. Okay, so we started off the afternoon with some USDA choice prime ribs from Kroger, courtesy of Mr. Nolan Ryan. Well, not really from him, but you know what they say, Kroger and Nolan Ryan beef and all that. Anyways, yeah, that's what we started off with. Look at the marbling of these ribeyes though. Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward a lot of this, opening the package and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, what I'm doing here in this part is opening up the package and taking off some of the sawdust, or the bone dust, whatever they call it, whenever they cut the meat, just to keep it clean. And just look at all that marbling, and it's a choice steak too, and look at that marbling. So that's the thickness there, but I'm impressed with the marbling. Of course, when I go to the store, I try to pick out the best marbling. We're using steak seasoning here, and we're also using fajita seasoning, but you guys can use whatever you guys have at your shelf, whatever you want to use. You guys can use it. Even salt, pepper, if you want to keep it basic, or SPG, salt, pepper, garlic powder. If that's what you want, do what you need to do. Like I said, I mean, as for me, I'm using those because that's what I like. Get whatever you want. Here we've got a potato that we're doing with some some butter, potato, salt, and those are the packages that you're gonna see. So right now, this is what our pit looks like. Got to clean it up real quick, and then we're gonna start with the fire. So I've got a little chimney or fire chimney, and you pretty much just put your charcoal at the top, put some newspaper underneath with a little bit of oil, turn it on, let it do its thing. It keeps going. It takes about 15-20 minutes, and that time you can kind of clean around the area, finish up whatever you need to season up or do what you got to do. But you just light that sucker up, let it do its thing. Then you're gonna pour some briquettes or whatever you've got, and then you pour the ones that are already lit over that, and you just, like I said, you just let it do its thing. No need to try to worry and blow some air on it or anything like that. You'll be good. And that's pretty much what you've got. After about another 15 minutes or so, just kind of pushing around the coals, making sure that everything gets lit up. You put your grates over the fire and let the fire start warming up those grates and start taking off all that grease from the past cook that you did. And then the Mexican trick is to cut an onion in half, put it on like a fork or something, and then run it through the grates after you've had them on the fire, and that'll clean off the grates and sanitize them, I guess, because some of you people don't be cleaning your grates and they have all that old food from before. I know it's flavor, but as soon as you put the onion on top of that fire, it's gonna smell so good, and it helps clean off the grates, and you'll have a good clean cook every single time, and you won't have anything sticking to your food. So we've got those aluminum foil, not balls, but those packages or packets, and those are your potatoes with the butter and the salt. And I'm also putting some corn on there as well. You want to flip those around quite a bit because they will catch on fire, but you can just leave them like that. And now we've got what I was talking about earlier as the salsa. So you just put some aluminum foil on there, then you put your tomatoes, you put your onions, you put a couple cloves of garlic. So here I did 4 tomatoes, about half or a quarter of an onion, and then about 2 garlic cloves. And then you put that over the heat on the aluminum foil like I said, and you're just gonna let that get real soft and mushy. That's what you want, and it'll start turning dark, like a darker like black color, and there's nothing wrong with that. You'll take off the cover or the peels of the tomato after it cooks through, and then you just put all of that into a blender with some salt, pinch of salt or half a teaspoon of salt depending on what you like, and then you got your salsa. So right now we're putting in our chicken. So for the chicken, I didn't show what I've used, but use whatever marinade or whatever seasoning is your preference, whatever you like. I think I had some like chicken seasoning somewhere around there, like the yellow bottle, and that's what I used. Like I said, use whatever you like. The important thing here is just to have a good time and enjoy what you got. If you got beer, drink your beer. Just enjoy the outdoors, enjoy cooking on an open fire, and that's what's most important. So as you can see, like the corn, I'm just kind of turning it around over the fire, that way it doesn't burn on me, but you're still getting that char on it. And the ones I have on the other side, those are a little bit darker because they're on that open flame. And all I'm pretty much doing is just moving the stuff around, moving around the onions, moving around the tomatoes. If it gets stuck a little bit, don't worry. That's part of the process. That's part of the flavor. More than anything, you see the black on it, it's part of the flavor. So don't even worry about it. It's not burned or anything like that. Like I said, you just keep tossing and turning, tossing and turning. I like to close it so that way the chicken is cooking, the potatoes are cooking, even the tomatoes and the onions and everything's cooking when you close it. Don't open it that fast or so often, because like they say, if you're looking, it ain't cooking. So right now we're turning around the chicken a little bit, trying to see how it's going, trying to get even cooking on both sides. And like I said, be patient with it, enjoy it. More than anything, enjoy it. So we've got our corn on the left, it's all ready to go. Our chicken is still cooking. Our potatoes are almost there. On the potatoes, you just want to tap with the tongs, and you tap it, and if it feels soft, then you're good to go. If they still feel hard, they need a little bit more, and if you overcook them, they'll be super hard. So now we got our little corn with mayonnaise and Cholula sauce, Mexican favorite. Now we got the king of the night. We've got the ribeyes ready to go on there. Ribeyes go last because everything else takes longer. We had our little snack with the corn, and our chicken is still cooking. Our potatoes are almost there because I moved them out of the fire. And the ribeyes, they don't take that long, so that's why we leave them for the end, like the cream of the crop, the cherry on the sundae. They're like the last thing you want to eat, the dessert, if you want to call it that. I've also got my bratwurst coming in because they don't take as long either, and that way I don't put them to the side and they cool on me, they get all dry, and we don't want any of that. So always cook the stuff that takes the longest first, or if you've got something like corn and it's going to be your snack as you're cooking more food, do that. But like I said, any of the stuff like the meats and everything, leave that till the end. The sausages, because they take the least amount of time, so they'll come out the fastest. And like I said, I've got the bratwurst. Look at that chicken. Looks like it's done. So I'm gonna start pulling it out of the charcoal grill. And like I said, for this chicken, I just cooked it indirect heat, so it never got on top of the fire. It was always indirect heat, and for about an hour or so, and it came out real nice, and it got smoked out too, so it got smoked, and you'll see that later in the video. So right now we're just letting the ribeyes do what they got to do. letting the bratwurst and indirect heat do what they gotta do. We also got these boudins. They were supposedly already cooked. It was like a Cajun boudin or something like that. But just look at that ribeye. So the first turn, and look at it. Just look at that. Looks so good. Look at that. But yeah, as far as the meat, flip it as many times as you need to. Don't listen to those people that say, oh, only flip it once, you can only flip it twice. Listen to me. It's your food, it's not theirs. You're at home, you're not doing this for anybody but yourself. If you're trying to impress, I guess, but if you want to make sure, then do what you got to do, man. Flip it, check it, flip it again, do what you need to do. It's your food. You're the one that knows what you're doing, not the rest of the people. For the rest of the people just looking and you're not cooking, don't get in there. Let the pit master do what he's got to do so that you can enjoy that food that afternoon. And I'm not trying to rhyme or anything. It just kind of came out of nowhere, spontaneous. But yeah, you just keep tossing and turning and just look at them. You touch them with your tongs if they feel kind of soft. You check with the thermometer as well. So for medium rare, you want about 125 degrees. Just look at that fire. This is all for show. No meat was hurt in the process. I just like looking at that fire. The grease, it just flares up the fire like that. Look at that. So good. Okay, so I pulled the meat out. It was ready to go. Just let the meat rest for about 5 minutes or so before you cut into it so the juices won't come out and drain on you. And then you got some dry meat. My bratwurst, I put them over the open fire now because it's not as hot as it was before. It won't overcook them. I've got time to flip them and do everything like that. Just let them get dark. Get those grill marks on there. And like I said, you're cooking your food, so you decide how much you want to leave them on there. If you want to cook your steak all the way through, don't recommend that, but if you want to do that, you can. And look at our steak here. So this first steak, I cooked it a little bit more closer to like the well done, medium well done, because the people, my family, my mom and my sister, they wanted the meat a little bit more like that. They don't like the medium rare too much. Now this one here, I try to leave it medium rare, but it turned into medium. So it wasn't bad at all. Don't get me wrong, medium is still good, nice and juicy, good flavor, everything. But you can see it there. I mean, it looks so good. By no means am I a professional. I haven't been cooking steaks that long. Listen, you're at home, you're enjoying it. You don't have to slice it perfectly. This isn't for show or anything like that. There's your picture right there. That's my little plate. Got my tortilla, half a boudin, bratwurst. There's the chicken right there. And like I said, there's your whole food. It's only for you. Make it how you want. Don't listen to anybody else. Okay, and so just my final remarks. What I tell you is cook the food however you want. Don't listen to anybody. I can't tell you that enough. Don't listen to anybody and what they've got to say and, oh, I cook it this way, oh, I do that. Hey, good for you. When I'm at your house, cook it that way for me. But you're at my house, we're going to do it the way I know how to do it, the way I can do it, and just enjoy your meal. There's no point in trying to show off, because there's a lot of people that try to show off and say, oh, I can do it this way, oh, check this out, and okay, cool, good for you. I mean, I'm happy for you. Be genuine about it too. Don't try to be sarcastic. I mean, the whole point is just to hang out, share the ideas with your friends, and give yourself tips more than anything, and enjoy each other's food, because at the end of the day, we just want to eat. We want to enjoy it. But just do what you want to do what you feel like you can do. If you don't know how to do it, don't try it. Unless you want to experiment, then experiment, but make sure to have one on the side in case your experiment goes wrong and you can't eat it. You still got something to eat. So yeah, that's just a cookout on a regular afternoon on the weekend here at home. We don't always cook stuff like that. Sometimes we've got some chicken and salsa and tortillas, that's about it. Sometimes we got corn. We try to change it up. Sometimes we got picanha as well. And if you stay tuned for my next video, I ended up cooking a brisket, or smoking a brisket, and then finishing up the cook in the oven. And that's maybe like my second or third time making one, and this time it actually came out good. So stay tuned for that video. Not sure what day it'll be released, but make sure to check it out. As always, if you have any tips, if you want to leave anything, leave it down in the comments and let me know. If you got something good to say, if you got something bad to say, go ahead and say it. Make me laugh. I dare you. And with all that, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.